members of the press, in the last few weeks, we have witnessed a surge in the COVID-19 infections with 583 new confirmed positive cases reported on 22nd June 2021. The Lake region economic bloc has particularly under an exponential rise of COVID-19 cases with increasing numbers of deaths. As an example, in Kisumu County, the ICU and the HDU beds are still fully occupied. The number of people in home-based care has also increased from 405 to 784, an increase of 389 in 1 week. In Homa Bay County, the number of COVID cases has risen by 297 from 645 last week to 942 this week. And the number in home-based care by 81 from 350 last week to 361 this week. The same story in Kericho County. On the other hand, the number of people in isolated beds increased from 21 to 66, an increase of 45. In the light of the above, we continue to urge the neighboring counties within the region, which is emerging as the epicenter of the fourth wave, to ensure strict adherence to the existing health protocols to curb the spread of virus. We wish to praise the Lake Region Economic Bloc counties for their swift action of heightening their response strategies, preparedness, and case management in addressing the surging cases of COVID-19. We also support the government for imposing strict COVID-19 control measures and discouraging movement into and out of the 13 counties in the Lake region. We encourage individuals that test positive to immediately inform people around them so that they can take the necessary precautions. Let us remember the very basic rules of stemming the spread of COVID-19. Social distance, wearing masks, sanitization, and washing our hands. We urge the Ministry of Health to fast track on the ongoing oxygen support to those counties for better response in the pandemic. In the last 2 weeks, county governments have addressed the following critical issues. COVID-19 vaccination. Ladies and gentlemen, at the 14th June 2021, 792 vaccines had been administered. Since then, 19,220 more vaccines have been administered, bringing the total to 995,012 vaccine doses, which account for 32% of its one targeted population. As follows: health workers, 169,021, security officers, 84,721, teachers, 154,931, those above 58, like myself, 299, 998, others, 286, 341. This marks only 1% increase from the last time we reported on 9th June. More people received the first dose of vaccine have received their second dose. Up to 14th June, 8,181 people had received their second dose of vaccine. Over the last 2 weeks, 180,183 people have received the second dose, bringing the total to 188,364 as follows: health workers, 51,691, security officers, 13,733, teachers, 21,701, above 58 years, 51,135, others, 50,104. The national and county governments are working towards ensuring that the second doses are available to all individuals that received the first dose. That's our priority. On Monday evening, the Ministry of Health received from Denmark 358,000 doses of AstraZeneca vaccine. We therefore encourage those who have already received their first jab to seek vaccination from government-accredited facilities for their second jab. We ask the Ministry of Health to ensure expeditious and equitable distribution of the doses across the counties. Bed capacity in 42 counties whose information we have received is as follows. Isolation beds. On the onset of the pandemic, county governments had set up isolation centers with a total of 6,994 isolation beds. Since then, there has been an increase of 22,569 isolation beds. Currently, there are a total of 8,663 isolation beds with 687 beds occupancy against 496 occupancy of the last week. Therefore, the total number of patients being admitted has increased by 191. So the upper trend is up ICU beds. The total number of patients being admitted has increased by 9. HDU beds, the total number of patients being admitted has increased by 13. You'll get the figures. Home-based isolation care. Cumulatively, there are 4,240 suspected and positive cases under home-based isolation care across 42 counties. The total number of cumulative recoveries as of this week is 22,643. We note that through the support of community health care workers, more people are recovering from the disease at home. Let us continue supporting each other and avoiding stigmatization. Those stigmatizing those that have contracted the virus. Transport sector. The transport sector presents a weak link in the fight against COVID-19. This is presented by the nature of the sector and the number of people that depend on public transport in Kenya. Whereas county governments are doing their best to regulate the sector, they are faced with low adherence levels to regulations and human and traffic, especially at border points. We still urge the national and county governments to ensure speed operations at border crossing areas to avoid overcrowding, taking into consideration road safety for freight and passenger movement. We also urge citizens to comply with social distancing, minimize the overcrowding at the bus stops in order to avoid the spread of the virus. On washing, water service providers continue to play a very critical role in the battle against COVID-19 through the provision of the much needed water services. There has been a decline in revenue collection for water service providers in the counties due to the COVID-19 period as consumers are economically disempowered. We therefore urge Water Sector Trust Fund to fast-track the release of financial support from the World Bank for the remaining water service providers in the counties. This support is urgently needed to help in availing water and sanitation services during the period. Number 4, education. Learning in county ECD centers and vocational training centers is ongoing in all counties, in line with the Ministry of Education academic calendar. As of Sunday, 20th June, no ECD center or vocational training center and reported COVID-19 case in the ongoing fourth wave from the learners, trainees, teachers, and tutors. ECD and vocational training centers, COVID-19 committees in 13 hotspot counties have been operationalized and have direct link with the county health department to report and handle any suspected COVID-19 case. All county governments are fully committed to complete 2020 Term 3 in July and the subsequent transition of pre-primary 2 learners to grade 1 in line with the competence-based curriculum. Food security. Ladies and gentlemen, the nature of transmission of COVID-19 has interrupted most sectors of the economy and general well-being. However, I'm glad to report that the country has sufficient food stocks until the end of July 2021 as follows. Maize, 8.42 million bags surplus. Beans, 2.76 million bags surplus. Wheat, 3.8 million bags of surplus. The farmers have done their bit. Key food markets are functioning normally, and food supply is normal in all counties. However, most communities from ALSA counties have depleted their household food stocks and hence buying food from the market. Further, livestock prices have decreased, hence they are affecting the ability of the pastoral community food purchasing power. Further, we note that the rainfall in Lake region has receded before the crops mature. This is dangerous. This is going to adversely affect the harvest this season in the Lake region. I urge the affected counties, as well as the national government, to scale up social protection programs, as well as livestock restocking programs to ensure minimum suffering by the affected communities. Non-COVID-19 issues. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to focus on some non-COVID related issues, which also have profound impact on the county government. The first one is the disbursement of equitable share allocation to the county government. Surprise, surprise. You will recall that in my last week's press statement, which I made on Monday 14th June 2021, I emphasized that the National Treasury owned the counties Kenya shillings 102.6 billion 2 weeks to the end of the financial year, which was unacceptable. That message reached the National Treasury, and the Cabinet Secretary have failed 8 counties 4.47 billion the same day of the said press statement. And I'm grateful to the CS, National Treasury, for his immediate action. That is not all. Earlier today, an additional 39.244 billion was dispersed, bringing the equitable share balance onto the counties to 58.906 billion. Owed. For this show of goodwill by the National Treasury, I once more wish to thank CS Yatani for this show of goodwill